Okay, so what you might want to do is pause this and kind of get all this copied down. This is the setup for what I want to show you as to how sine x is a periodic function and be able to answer what's the domain, the range, the amplitude, and the period for this function. So now that you have this all copied, we're going to get started. Remember that the sine function is the y values. And what I did over here was I put the unit circle for the coordinate values so that we could generate these values again. Now you want to get really good at this. So you want to know what these coordinates are and where they're located so that you can label it up quick and write them out quick. So the sine of 0 degrees, remember, is the y coordinate, so it's going to be 0. Sine of 90 is 1. The sine of 180 is 0. The sine of 270 is -1, and the sine of 360 is 0, all coming from the y coordinates on the unit circle. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to red, and I'm going to take a look, and I'm going to plot what I can. So at 0 degrees, I am going 0 height. So that's right on the origin, 0, 0. Then at 90 degrees, I'm going up to 1, 180 back to 0, 270 down to -1, 360 back to 0. So this represents one cycle of sine. Now, in order for us to get a little bit more this way or a little bit more this way, it has to do with rotations. So if you take a look at this, and we've done one full rotation around the circle. If I want to go 450, that's another 90. So from here, I would have to go up to, I'd go around the circle once, that's 360, and then go another 90, that's 450. So that value is 1. So I'm back up here at 1. Then to go 540, I would have to go another 90, which means I would go back to 0. At 630, I'm going another 90, so I'm back to -1. And then, of course, 720 is 360 twice, so I'm back to 0. So here's where the continuation of cycle number 2 comes from. And it comes from the fact that this is just repeated rotations counterclockwise. So this is 1 rotation, this is 2 rotations. Okay, so this represents 1 rotation. This is 1 rotation. Now, if I'm going to fill out this end, remember that negatives mean that we're going clockwise. So we would start here, and -90 means we're going to go 90 degrees clockwise. So that means I'm going to be at 270, which is a -1. -180 means I'm going clockwise 180 degrees, so I'll be at 0. -270 means I'm going clockwise 270 degrees, which makes it 1. And then -360 just means I'm going around 1 full rotation clockwise back at 0. So when I go to do this, it's harder to go backwards, believe me. Making, ooh, nice and round. Ooh, look at that. So here represents another cycle. So if you notice this shape, sideways S, sideways S, sideways S. And so it's periodic because it maintains the same exact pattern, and it repeats over and over again. And we've seen these before. So that's why it's periodic. Domain represents all of the x values in the entire function. So for 1 rotation, our domain is going to be from 0 to 360 because 0 to 360 represents 1 full cycle. In degrees. And then for our range, we do bottom to the top, and the bottom value is -1, and the top value is 1. These are not in degrees. This represents a height. The amplitude. Remember, amplitude is our max minus our min divided by 2. So our max is 1 minus our min. Our min is -1 all over 2. So this is 2 over 2, which is 1. So the amplitude is 1. That means from our first initial value on our midline to our topmost point is 1 unit high. And then the period, like we said, is one full cycle goes from 0 to 360. There we go. 360 degrees is our period. That's what it goes to. Okay, so that pretty much takes care of the sine function.